Welcome to the Lesson of the Week with yours truly, Sean Thunder Wallace. I'm a performer, composer, and professor of music at The Ohio State University. This weekly program is designed to inspire and inform the serious music student. We're all students here, so join me on the path of discovery as we learn together.
I was just wondering what sort of things do when you got like a pinch, when you're in a pinch, like what kind of things do you use to, get your fingers going, get your tongue going, and then also get your ear going, most importantly, if you're leading the group.
Yeah,
Because that's my biggest thing, is getting my ear going so that, I'm actually like playing stuff that I'm hearing rather than just regurgitating, right off the bat for the whole first tune.
Yeah. One thing I do every time I touch my horn, and I don't usually have like a long time to warm up before I'm playing. So maybe I'll get like a couple minutes, and then if you play more than one act, then obviously you gotta make sure that the other things are working. And for me personally, one of the reasons that I stopped using wood reeds was because when I have like a bunch of horns laying around, and then I have to think about being a band leader and all of that kind of stuff, I don't want to have to think about wetting the reed and all like that to make sure it's going to work when I play it.
Right.
And then I'm not going to exclusively play any particular horn, so there's like I can't get freed up for that. But that's another side.
Right.
Side issue. But
it's kind of how you were saying. Like I find myself where I'm, either I'm arranging charts or I'm trying to get the book together, and then hey, it's an hour before the gig, And
one thing I do is and I know some of this has to do with what your schedule is, and sometimes you can't do this, but I know that I don't play well. And when I say that, I'm playing for myself. So I'm thinking about all kinds of little nuances and stuff that maybe nobody else hears. But that stuff doesn't happen well when I just get to the gig and then I have to just throw the horn in my mouth and play. It doesn't happen. It particularly doesn't happen well if I'm running late or somebody else in the band is running late, because then I start getting because I start getting a little anxious, a little stressed, and it comes out at least in the first couple things that I play.
Yeah. Well, that happens when I'm not cool with the band. If there's problems behind me and I'm thinking about it.
I try not to think of the politics as much as possible when I'm playing with different bands.
Well, like if the musician doesn't have,
that. But then,
I know.
In the politics too. It's all the same stuff. It's social stuff. It's all politics. It's all the same stuff. Band chemistry, all of that kind of stuff. People showing up on time. All of that kind of stuff. It kind of goes into the same category for me, in the same pot. And so, if I can try to minimize that stuff as much as possible, then it ends up being better. So, since I don't have, sometimes I don't have this kind of time, but what I try to do is I try to get to the hit, so that I've got 30 minutes between everything is set up and when I actually have to play. So then, and I've already warmed up actually. So that's just like clear my head time and not worry about the stuff that's going on. That's like ideal situation for me. Now, when that doesn't happen, then I have a couple warm-up exercises and a couple like breathing exercises that I've started to do that seem to help me calm down. Because somebody's going to show up late. I got there, later than I wanted to get there. This is going wrong. That's going wrong. Everything like that. I've got a couple things I try to do. On the warm-up side, on the horn, if I have minimal time, I play bebop scale, 2 octaves, and I play it up chromatically, so it's like the do that. That's like a religious thing. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as I get there, I get my horn together. Okay, I do a little stretching. I do a little of this. I try to control my breathing a little bit. Then I play. I'll do that. By the time I get way up there to that altissimo stuff, I mean, my fingers are usually working pretty good. If they're not, for some reason, if I'm still stiff, then I might go through and play. I might go through and play, you know, some triad pairs or something, whatever, or some patterns or something that I've been working on. Take a pattern and turn it inside out. That actually helps to calm me down. You know, take something that actually requires a little thought, so I have to kind of get out of a certain space so that I can do it. And by the time I'm actually able to do that, it forces me to calm down. But I mean, that's basically what I do. Obviously, you have to make sure that the horn is in tune with itself and in tune with the piano. A good idea. I started doing this too as a warm up, and I've gone through different things as warm ups, and some of it just has to do with like certain technical stuff I'm working on. But like if I'm not really comfortable after I played the bebop scale, and especially with a lot of that clumsy stuff, the altissimo clumsy fingering up there, then I'll go through and I'll, you know. I mean, I'll go through and I'll play that. Maybe I'll play a couple scales doing that. Because after I played some of that stuff, you know, it's like that whole, you know, you practice stuff that's like way harder than you're going to actually play, that type of thing. So then once I actually get into actually doing some playing, then I'll have a better chance. So you could take that chromatic, that bebop scale and turn it into different kinds of articulation things. So then you're hitting like 3 things at once, you know? So. I mean, you can't really do that too much if you're nerves, if you have nerves. So then you'll have to slow it down. You know? You know, just go through and think of different articulations and play them slow, start gaining some speed, and you'll see where the breaking point is. It's like, oh, okay, you know, and you'll know if you have some nerves. If you have some nerves, do some breathing. Try to do it again. It really doesn't have to take more than like 5 minutes. It's sometimes what cats will do is, you know, they'll get kind of a basic warm up. It might not be killing, but they'll get like a basic warm up. And then the first tune that they play is not like a real technically demanding tune.
Right.
So then the first tune or the first couple tunes are like warm up tunes. You know, as far as technically, they're still musical, it's still good stuff, but from a technical perspective, you're not quite up to 100%.